and it's coming out very soon. It could be a big threat, boss.
I don't think that's gonna be a problem. It's probably gonna be really badly made.
And it's gotten pretty decent reviews for the most part.
No one's gonna want to play a game with those unknown characters.
Marvel's a pretty big deal. They have some of the most popular movies of all time, and their characters are way more popular than our characters, and our characters are popular.
Oh.
Like Spider-Man, the X-Men.
They make movies, right?
You really never heard of Marvel? That's kind of really not a good sign that you're the CEO.
I have just a solution.
Please don't say Overwatch 3.
Overwatch 3.
Oh my god, we're so Marvel Rivals is a class-based third-person shooter made by, well, Marvel, duh. But more specifically, NetEase Games is the main developer, and you might recognize that name because they've primarily made Chinese mobile games and the mobile version of Blizzard games like World of Warcraft and StarCraft. So when people heard that they were involved, a lot of people were initially nervous that Marvel Rivals would look and feel like a cheaply made mobile game. And now that I got a chance to finally play it, I can safely say that this game has defied my expectations. So let me break down this game for all you noobs out there and explain why Marvel might have actually made a banger multiplayer shooter, one that could even rival Overwatch when it officially comes out. Let me explain. Marvel Rivals is a 6v6 class-based third-person shooter where you play as some of the most iconic Marvel characters, from Spider-Man to Iron Man to Magic. What, you don't know Magic with a K? Oh, you don't? Psh, wow, you need to read more comics, you nerd. The game is very similar to Overwatch, so similar that I will be using Overwatch terms throughout this video to better explain this game. And no, I didn't sign a non-disparaging agreement to get into this game. Shout out my boy Machiavelli for getting me in. So I can be critical and compare this game to whatever I want. Just like Overwatch, there are different characters you can choose to play. Each character will have a unique weapon, abilities, and ultimate ability. And they are categorized into 3 classes: Vanguard, Duelist, and Strategist. Those names are a confusing mouthful, so let's just call them, tanks, damage, and support. The tank class will have a lot of health, but will usually have a larger hitbox, less damage output, and more defensive utility to keep your team alive and tank hits. The damage class has very high damage output, but they're usually less bulky with no real defensive utility. And the support class are there to provide support mostly through healing, but they can support in other ways. Each of these roles has their utility, and it is recommended that every team have at least a couple of each type of class. But just like Overwatch in the early days, you'll get compositions with no tanks or no healers, because why tank when I can play Spider-Man? Spider-Man does whatever a spider can, spins his web, and he's dead. Okay, so Spider-Man's kind of hard to play. The way each character plays is so unique to one another that you are bound to find a character in each class that will suit your playstyle. Do you like being a shield for your team like Reinhardt? Try Doctor Strange, who provides your team with a huge shield, a cool teleporter, and the ability to freeze time as an ultimate.
By the eye of Agamotto, judge, jury, executioner!
Are you more aggressive as a tank like D.Va or Winston? Then you can use Bruce Banner, who can transform into the Hulk.
I'm hulking out! Stick around. Hulk happy to help.
The Hulk will clap a few people, and then when he dies, he just reverts back to Bruce Banner form. Kinda like D.Va. You like dive characters like Genji? Spider-Man is like that with a little Pathfinder and Doomfist mixed in. Do you like supporting your team with great heals and strong firepower like Baptiste? Rocket Raccoon will support the team perfectly while getting tons of kills. Do you like bamboozling like Mirage, copying abilities like Echo, and healing for your team at the same time? Loki has you covered. There's literally a hero shooter counterpart to every single character in Marvel Rivals. Star-Lord, he's Tracer. Magneto, he's totally Sigma. Scarlet Witch, she's got Moira's suck attack. The Punishers like Soldier and Bastion had an edgy baby. Iron Man is like Pharah. Hela is broken. Obviously, it's not one-to-one, but the vibes are there, and it's easy to enjoy these characters because of it. Seriously, when the game comes out, just try them all. They are this cool hodgepodge of concepts you've seen done before in past games, but with characters you've seen on movies and TV. The objectives you'll play are also the classic hero shooter modes. You got your standard payload missions where you push a cart to the end or stop the enemy from pushing a cart. Then there's the King of the Hill capture point mode. Whoever holds the objective longer and gets to 100% first wins the point. It's nothing you haven't seen before, but it is on cool Marvel themed maps like Asgard from the Thor comics and Tokyo 2099 from the Spider-Man 2099 universe. These were the only 2 locations that the game took place in at the moment, but there's potential for maps all over the galaxy and multiverse. But that's Marvel Rivals in a nutshell. Some people are calling it the Overwatch killer, which is a bold statement, because we all know that the real Overwatch killer is Blizzard itself. So before we jump to conclusions, let's discuss it in the... Right off the bat, the game looks very good. Like, you can tell this game has that Disney Marvel shmoney backing it because the characters look great, the menus are simple but effective, the UI is well done, and the map design is solid. You can even destroy buildings, which is an awesome touch. The voice acting is also top-notch, featuring some incredible talent. Sure, they couldn't afford Robert Downey Jr., but the actor got his vibe down. The actual gameplay is surprisingly well done. I was expecting it to feel overwhelming, but it's actually very straightforward. The team-up mechanic is still a bit confusing to me, like I don't know when to activate them. Some are just more obvious than others like Groots and Rockets, but I like the concept. I might just be dumb. And the overall character designs when it comes to how they play is so clever. Sure, you could just make Hulk or Magneto super overpowered like they are in the comics, but they somehow capture their essence while making them somewhat balanced in this game. Not perfectly balanced, which we'll talk about later, but it's well done. I really think there will be a character that you are more drawn towards. For me, it was Star-Lord and Loki. I like Star-Lord's speed and raw damage output, and his ultimate is so fun and easy to use. And Loki is way harder to use, but it's so satisfying when you trick and disappear on people. You just got bamboozled, look at you. The game will be free to play at launch, and so far the Battle Pass skins and cosmetics they showed off look fantastic and are full of a ton of sick references and fan service. Hopefully they aren't priced too high, because if they are reasonably priced, they will easily make a ton of money. Some characters are just way overtuned and unbalanced, making some feel useless and others unfun to play against. Like Hela is so strong. Yeah, getting a clean double kill versus enemies across the map is nice and all, but if it's that easy for me to do, then you know a good player is gonna tear you apart. And just like classic Overwatch, not having a healer or a tank sucks. And since it's not a requirement per team, there will be times where there just aren't any healers or tanks. Maybe Marvel Rivals will have to go through their own GOATS era in competitive to change their rule set. You remember that in Overwatch? It was miserable. But until then, be a good team player and pick a role the team needs. We don't need another Spider-Man just swinging in to die. Seriously, Spider-Man, you're really the Genji of this game. If they give him a "I need healing" voice line, it'll be like looking in a mirror. Speaking of voice lines, it feels like every character, including the announcer, has to say something for every little thing, leading to noise clutter from all directions. If they can just minimize the amount of characters talking at the same time, it would be a lot better, because it can be a lot at times.
Your powers are mine!
Double KO! That's 3!
They also don't have a play of the game feature.
Double KO! That's 3!
But you can watch individual highlights of your team after the match, which is a cool little bonus. But yeah, as much as the MVP thing is nice and all, there's something way nicer about a cool replay being highlighted. I know it's not Overwatch, but like, just copy one more thing, Marvel, please. Overall, Marvel Rivals is a surprise to say the least, but a welcome one. I love Overwatch, but let's be honest, Overwatch 2 truly isn't a sequel. So having a fresh take on the genre is such a nice thing to see, especially one with as much promise as this game. So I will be giving Marvel Rivals an 8.5 out of 10. Once the full game is out and we see how they monetize and update this game, this score can go up or down. But what do you think? Did you get blessed enough to even try this game during the beta? And if so, what would you rate it? Hopefully the game ends up being something y'all like watching, because individual character videos like Spider-Man for Noobs or Star-Lord for Noobs could be a ton of fun for this game. But also, which character from Marvel do you want to see added to this game? I want to see how they would do Captain America or Wolverine. But let me know which character you want in the comments down below. Okay guys, I gotta go work on Overwatch 3 apparently. So I'll catch you later. Ya noob.